I'm trans and I've had a lot of, let's say, questionable hairstyles throughout my transition. So today I thought we'd go through some of them together to rate them. Around the time when I first came out, I had really long hair. At some point I remember it going almost down to my knees, which is absolutely insane. But I always tried to hide my hair as much as possible, so I usually had it braided. I really hated having long hair, but I can't deny that it was kind of impressive, so I'm giving it a 2 out of 10. Around 2017, I was able to cut my hair a bit shorter for the first time. I remember wanting it to look really shaggy and emo. And honestly, mission accomplished, because throughout that whole period, I just looked like an emo teenage boy. Now I think it's a bit much, but I remember really loving it at the time, so I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. Around a year later, in 2018, I would say, I was able to cut my hair short for the first time, and I was really excited about it. But I also remember that my hairdresser refused to cut my sideburns short because she said it would make me look too masculine, which is so strange for a hairdresser to say. So I remember that my hair didn't turn out how I wanted, and I felt more dysphoric after my haircut because I felt like I looked more feminine than with my longer hair. So I'll give it a 3 out of 10. Then at the end of 2018, I started my hair coloring phase. So first off, I of course decided to color my hair pitch black, and I have never looked paler. Yeah. I also remember that I wanted everyone at school to think I was cool, so I let one of my classmates shave the back of my head. It was not a good idea. It was not a good look. I might have felt a bit cool about it at the time, but oh my god, it looked horrible. Giving this a 2 out of 10. Next, I tried going blonde. I had really high hopes for this, but my hairdresser wasn't able to get it properly blonde, so it just looked yellow. It's a 3 out of 10. Then I tried to go pink. It was honestly not as bad as blonde or black, but it's not good either, so I'm giving this a 4 out of 10. Then I also tried to go ginger, and I honestly don't know why, but it still looks better than the other ones, so it's a 5 out of 10. And this was a great year, because for Halloween I of course also colored my hair green for a costume. And honestly, my hair just looked moldy the entire time, so this is a 3 out of 10. Then at Christmas I colored my hair red, which was honestly pretty good on me, even though it never washed out, so it's getting a 6 out of 10. Then around 2020 I started coloring my hair blue, which I absolutely loved. I was obsessed. And usually this was a really good look for me, I think. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. But at some point I also started curling it, which looked absolutely chaotic. So that one is getting a 3 out of 10. When my blue hair started growing out, I went through a phase where I had my natural hair color, but with like blue-greenish tips, which honestly was really cool. So I'm giving that one a 7.5 out of 10. My hair eventually grew out, so I just had my natural color, and honestly that was fine, but I never knew what to do with my hair, so it's a 6 out of 10. After that, my hair was kind of stable for a while, it looked fine, but then in 2023, I made a horrible mistake. I decided that like everyone else at the time, I wanted to get a mullet. And you know, I think mullets are really cool. I wanted my hair to look like this. This is what I showed the hairdresser and what I wanted, but little did I know that my hair just wouldn't do that. And it ended up looking like this. It just looks thin and greasy. Yeah, it's easily a 1 out of 10 for me. Then, a couple of months later, I decided to make another questionable choice. So, of course, I had my horrible mullet, and I figured that what's better than bleaching the back of it so it's just blonde here and nowhere else. And honestly, when I say this, you'd probably expect that it looked horrible, but surprisingly, it was okay. It was like way better than before. So I would say that this was, surprisingly, a 7 out of 10. And now we've gotten to 2024, and you'd probably think that I knew what I should do and what I was doing with my hair at this point. You'd be mistaken. I suddenly missed coloring my hair, so I decided on a whim, the day before going on vacation to Amsterdam, that I should probably just bleach my hair and color it pink. And of course I wanted to save money, so I thought I should just do this by myself instead of going to a hairdresser. And that's probably my worst mistake yet. I colored it and it turned out very light pink with spots of yellow and orange. And I didn't want to leave the house like that, so this was a crisis. Okay, and my hair also turned really, really thin after the failed bleach. So this is definitely a 0 out of 10. But I decided that I could still save the hair. I didn't want to go to Amsterdam with spotted orange pink and yellow hair. So I went to the center of Oslo to buy hair dye, and I thought I'd just dye it back to brown. But when I got out of the shower, it was not brown, it was black and green. And there was no saving this. It was also still really thin and stiff from the failed bleach. So this is just a tiny bit better than the pink. It was a 1 out of 10. After a while my hair grew back again, but it was still a lot thinner than it had been before the failed bleach incident. But it still looked pretty good, so I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. Then, just as my hair was getting back to normal, I made yet another mistake, because I never learn. I decided that I should cut it short and try styling it forwards, but it was still really thin after the bleach. And it just looked so bad the entire time. So this was probably the worst one yet. I'll give it a 0 out of 10. Now it has finally grown out again, and honestly I think I kind of know what I'm doing with my hair at this point. This is a picture from the last time I went to the hairdresser, and honestly I think it looks pretty good, and I kind of know what I'm doing with my hair at this point. I'll say it's an 8 out of 10 in the picture, but now my hair's getting too long again, and I'm not sure what to do with it. So honestly, let me know if you have any ideas for me, because I have no clue. And now we're all caught up with my hair journey throughout my transition. It's been a journey. And anyways, thank you for watching the video. This is actually my first time making a YouTube video. I've tried posting on Instagram and Reels and Snapchat and stuff before, but this is my first time posting a proper video here. So it's been a bit different, but it's really fun. So I'll try to post here sometimes. And if you want to see that, you can subscribe, of course. Would mean everything to me. Thank you for spending these minutes with me. And now I'm gonna leave. Bye bye.